Hi folks, this is Alan. I've been doing electrolysis for maybe 2 years now. I have just moved my tank and I just got a new setup going on, and I just want to introduce you to what I've done so far. Alright, now I've got a 55-gallon drum. Got it set up with, just filled it up with a mix. I got it set up with a mix of 1 cup per 10 gallons of this. On the top, this is where my negative lead connects. I have a solid rod going across, that way I get contact anywhere along here. It is a little rusty now, I had to sand it. Inside, I just have 2 plates. They're stainless steel. I went to the salvage yard and grabbed them off old dishwasher. I wish I had a 360 plate, but I don't have that yet. So I got my jumper wire, go from 1 plate across. That's where the positive hooks up. This charger I got off Craigslist, and I'm gonna fire it up for you. I've got it set on 10 ounce, and I'm gonna put it in the hold position. I don't know if you can see the gauge or not. I'll have to turn it off. Gauge jumps just a little bit, showing there is a current draw. If you look down the side, you can see the bubbles starting to come off the pan. Got some pretty good bubble action coming off of it. So tomorrow, I'll let this run all day. I'll come back tomorrow, pull it out, and see what it looks like. I'm pull it out right now and show you what the pan does look like before we get started. This has got the typical crud on it, not really any rust, but this etank does an excellent job of removing rust and years of caked up gunk. So anyway, if you do pull it out, just make sure you get good contact again, and make sure it's sizzling a little bit. Not sizzling as far as noise, but getting the get some bubble action off the pan. Kind of hard to see right now. Yeah, got my flashlight shining down on it. You can see the bubbles coming up off the pan. You got to make sure you have good contact. Like right now, I had to sand this where my negative hooks up. I come over here, I had to sand this a little bit. Anywhere there's a point, it has to be clean. My hook going down my pan, your pan's got crud on it. Take a piece of sandpaper, file the point, or sand the point where the hook is. That way you got good contact down to the pan. And you should have some decent action. So anyway, that's my setup. Hopefully it helps somebody. If you notice, this thing's been running a few minutes. You can see the churn going on. Bubbles are being drawn across, away from the center to the panels. Now the more you use your etank, this is a fresh startup on clean water. The more you run these, like tomorrow this water will probably be black. So you won't be able to look down at your pan and see it bubbling like we were just a few minutes ago. And you could, if you see the bubbles coming off the rod, you may get that and think your pan has got good connection down inside. But the darker your water goes, of course, like I said, you won't be able to see nothing, but you will be able to see the bubbles coming up on the side away from the center, indicating that your pan is got contact. That's one thing I look for when I put a new pan in or anytime I drop one in. Another thing I'll talk about is the safety. I will not cover all the aspects of safety of this setup. I'm trying to be as safe as possible. I'm sure there's some safety videos online somewhere, but we all know water and electricity does not mix. So please use common sense. And if you're not familiar with electricity, I would become familiar with electricity before it lights you up. Like I said, I can't cover all the safety aspects of this, but the safest thing to do is don't put your hands in the water with it on, and turn the power off. Even unplug the unit before as you load and unload your product. That's some of the simplest rules I have. Another thing is safety with small children. You got a container here full of water. You don't want them around it, falling into it, drowning, touching it. So that is up to you and your environment and your conditions to regulate how you do that. So right now, I don't have any kids around here. We may have a stray animal. So this is my setup. It works for me. It may not work for you. Alright folks, it's been about 24 hours. I want to come out here and see what this thing is looking like. As I said yesterday, the water's going to be pretty much black. It is, but you can see the pattern here. You can see how the bubbles are still coming up off the pan. If your pan didn't have contact, there wouldn't be any bubbles coming up in this areas. One thing I didn't do yesterday when I pulled this pan up, it was still on, which I just grabbed it by a little thing I welded on this hook. But since I told y'all to turn it off before messing with it, I'll do the same thing. Now, you see the crud, it's just all bubbled up. And take it, put it in a faucet with some steel wool, and all that will wash right off. If you have any stubborn areas, you can just put it back in there and let it soak for another 24 hours, which I have had problem areas before. But that's what it looks like. I'm not going to clean it right now. I got to run off somewhere and do something. I wanted y'all to see it after 24 hours. So once I get it cleaned up, I will show y'all. But for right now, I'm going to turn this back on. See if my gauge jumps, see if I got contact. It did. And we'll see y'all probably tomorrow. Alright folks, this is day 3. I didn't have time to mess with this pan, so this has been in a bath for 72 hours. So let's see what it looks like. Y'all saw what it looked like after day 1. So I'm going to turn this off and see what it shows. About everything's gone except for the inside, but that will wipe off. So let me go clean this up and see what it looks like. Alright, I'm going to hit it with some water, see what happens. Little steel wool, that should clean up just fine.